Hi, everybody at ACNS. My name is Dave Brigham. I'm trying to get my cat out of the way. My name is Dave Brigham, and I am the father of two ACNS graduates, Owen, who's in 12th grade, a senior in high school, and Amelia, who's in 7th grade, both right here in Newton. And today I want to read you a book that I wrote called A Wicked Good Trip. And it's all about riding on the Boston subway. And I was inspired to write it by all the trips that Owen and I have taken over the years throughout Boston, since he was just a little older than you guys are now. He was about 5 or 6 when he really kind of fell in love with riding on the train. So I'm going to let them go. They can go and do their own thing, and I'm going to read the book to you now, okay? Thanks, guys. See you later. All right, let's read the book. So it's called A Wicked Good Trip. And I wrote the words, and a woman named Martina Merrick did all the awesome artwork that's in here. All right, let me try to get this so I'm getting it right here. So, this is all about kids riding the subway in Boston. Our class has gone on a lot of great field trips. We went to the zoo, an ice cream factory, and an apple picking farm. But do you know what the best trip of all was? Riding the subway in Boston. Oops. We went on the green line of the MBTA. Anyone recognize any of those trains? See them around Newton and Boston? Our teacher, Miss Washington, said everyone just calls it the T. We started at Leechmere Station in Cambridge, across the Charles River from Boston. We watched our train come around the loop before it stopped at the platform. We were so excited to ride a trolley. We passed the Museum of Science. Anyone recognize this dinosaur from outside the Museum of Science, if you've ever been there? We waved to the giant T-Rex outside. We saw sailboats in the Charles River. Then we started going downhill towards a tunnel. All of a sudden, we went underground. It was so dark. We jumped up and down and screamed with excitement. People on a train going the other way waved to us. When we got to North Station, Justin's dad told us that the Celtics and Bruins play games right above our heads at TD Garden. Justin leapt out of his seat and slam dunked his orange through my arms, just like he was on the Celtics, huh? Haymarket Station was next. We got off our trolley and switched to the second car just for fun. Then we were off to Government Center. As we entered the station, we went around a big curve. The train squeaked so loud, we had to cover our ears. If you've ever ridden on the subways in Boston, you know they can be pretty loud. We got off and went up a long escalator. Wait a minute, who's that? Is that the T-Rex? What's he doing? We walked past Boston City Hall, crossed the street, and went to historic Faneuil Hall. A lot of important meetings are held there, Miss Washington said. It was a beautiful day, so we walked from Faneuil Hall to Boston Common. We passed a graveyard and 3 churches. We ate our lunch and gave some of our bread to the pigeons. We saw Paul Revere. Anyone know who Paul Revere is? He told us about his midnight ride at the beginning of the Revolutionary War. On our walk back toward the subway station to Park Street, we listened to some musicians play Take Me Out to the Ball Game. If you've ever been to a Red Sox game, you certainly have heard that song. Park Street Station is where the Green Line and Red Line subways meet. See, here's a map that you can see with all the subway lines, and Park Street Station is right here in the middle where the Green and Red Line trains meet. Miss Washington said Park Street is one of the first 2 subway stations built in the United States. The other one is Boylston Station, which was our next stop. Leaving Boylston Station, the train whizzed around the curve like a carnival ride. See, they have to hold on to the poles to be safe. Carly noticed a tunnel going underneath our tunnel. Justin's dad said that was part of the old subway system that opened more than a century ago but is no longer used. Do monsters live there? Carly asked. Miss Washington said they might. We all screamed, "Ah!" Hakeem pointed to the sign on the ceiling that tells you which stop is next. We read it together. Want to read it with me? A Arlington. Arlington. Hakeem told Miss Washington, hey, they tell you to stop. She said, yes, I'm glad you noticed. Next was Copley Station. We got off there and walked into the sunshine. Miss Washington pointed out the Boston Public Library and the Trinity Church, very famous building in Boston. What's that tall building? I asked. That's the Hancock Tower, she said. It's the tallest building in Boston. We're going to the second tallest building in the city. We were going to the Prudential Tower. From the 50th floor, we could see all around the city. Planes landing at the airport, giant ships in the harbor, boats on the Charles River, so many cars, people, and buildings. We also saw Fenway Park, our next stop. What goes on at Fenway Park? We went back underground and got on a B train. See, it says B. Miss Washington said the Green Line has 4 branches, the B, the C, the D, and the E. The B, C, and D branches continue west from Copley Station. The E branch splits there and goes all the way to Symphony Station, and then it goes above ground. The B branch, see, here's another map of all just the Green Line trains. The B branch goes to Boston College in Newton. The C branch goes to Cleveland Circle and Brookline. The D branch goes to Riverside Station, which is also in Newton. And the E branch goes to Heath Street in Boston. We went past Heinz Convention Center and then on to Kenmore Station. We went up the stairs and walked to Fenway Park, home of the Red Sox. We took a tour of the park, which was so cool. We learned a lot about the history of the Red Sox, walked through the press box, and even got to sit on the Green Monster. If you've ever been to Fenway Park, you know what the Green Monster is? That's a big wall out there in left field. We left Fenway Park and walked to the Museum of Fine Arts. We saw so many cool paintings and sculptures. Then we walked across the street to get back on the E branch of the Green Line. When we got on the train, Miles noticed that the word kinky on the wall behind the driver. Justin's dad asked the driver what that meant. He said that's the name of the company that built the trolley. Those cars are older. The newer ones are made by a company called Brita. This is the kind of stuff that my son, Owen, who was here a few minutes ago, he loves this kind of stuff. Details all about the trains, the numbers and the signs and the stops and all that kind of stuff. We rode above ground for a few stops. It was so cool seeing cars driving on either side of the train. See, they're on the street. They're not underground, they're on the street. Maya looked up and read the word stop request next to a strip of plastic above the window. Can we push that? She asked. Miss Washington said, yes, riders can push the strip to ask the driver to stop at the next station. Oh, who's that? That dinosaur keeps popping up everywhere, huh? Back underground, our first stop was Symphony Station. Miss Washington told us the stop was named for Symphony Hall, where the Boston Symphony Orchestra plays. Next, we stop at Prudential Station. That's where we went into that tall building and saw all around the city, I said. That's right, Miss Washington said. It's also where the headquarters of the Christian Science Church is. So here is above ground. There's what the Prudential building looks like. And then this is below ground. And there's a tunnel. They're going to go in that once they get on a train. From there, we went to Copley Station. I remember this one, Miles said. Yes, that's right, Miss Washington said. We're going to pass through the same stations on our way back to Lechmere, where we started. What else do you notice? Miss Washington asked. We looked around. What's that number up there? I asked. When the train stopped in the next station, Miss Washington asked the driver. He said that every trolley and subway car has a number. The number makes it easier to keep track of the trains, he said. We were all pretty tired, so we sat down and looked out the windows at the tunnels and watched the people on the train. When we got back to Lechmere, the driver announced, last stop, please remember all your belongings and have a great day. Then as we stood on the platform, watching the train go around the loop, he rang the bell, ding, ding, and gave us a big friendly wave. We had a wicked good trip. Well, kids, I hope you enjoy that book. Maybe if you've never been on the train, sometime in the hopefully not too distant future, you'll be able to get on a train and ride it into Boston, do your own little exploration. And if you really like the book, you can buy it at the website, this place here, sidetrackproducts.com. It's a little company in Waltham that actually my wife's brother-in-law runs, and he has toy trolleys and t-shirts and all sorts of cool MBTA stuff. So I hope you enjoyed the book. I enjoyed reading it to you, and have a good day. Bye-bye.